the 130. I only had it running in my tank for a couple of weeks, and straight off of the bat, I will say that it didn't work out for me. I don't think that's anything against the skimmer, so to speak. The sump that I had it in was very tight. There was loads of vibrations, and you know, no matter what I did to it, I don't think I was ever going to be able to solve the issue. So I've had to go and get another skimmer. But you know, when speaking about this, I'm going to try and be as fair as possible about it. You know, there was some issues, but you know, as I said, I'm going to try and give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So straight off the bat, let's talk about the build quality. The acrylics used, and this is always talked about in all the videos, it is top notch. I don't think you can give it justice on a video. The workmanship, you know, the quality of the finishing is amazing. And I've done other videos on aquarium filters for freshwater aquariums, and I spoke about build quality and generally not thinking that the build quality is where it should be, except for German products. And being a Vertex, it is German and it is quality, top quality, bulletproof, I would say. You could probably kick this around the floor and you know, it would be fine. So really heavy, real good quality, not flimsy, it's not plastic, it's acrylic quality. So the cup is a screw top, screws off nice, and then you've got like a rubber O-ring there. That there is your drain pipe. If you want to use the drain, you can. Again, a nice touch there, and I'm filming this with a phone, so I am one-handed, I'm afraid, but that can have it going either way. Obviously, screwing on or screwing off, you just move it, and so again, that isn't gonna bump against the riser tube. It is just a riser, so you just twist this to adjust the level in the chamber. I've seen quite a few skimmers, and you know, I don't know, could they have done something with the top here? You see a lot with a nice little top. I think maybe they could have. You know, it's open, it's not bad, but if you look at the quality of everything they've done, and then you've got that sitting there, I mean, I don't know, you know, maybe it's just me. I am really fussy with stuff, with build quality, with noise, etc. So, you know, I am really picking at small things here, and you know, if I do say anything negative about this skimmer, ultimately, I think it's a good skimmer, it's a quality skimmer, it's built really well. I think in the right environment, if you know what you're doing, and you know, I've only been doing marine for quite a while, you know, not a long time, you know, maybe my experience with skimmers isn't enough, but if you know what you're doing and you can get the best out of this, I think this skimmer will be a monster. I really do. But, as I said, there are a few issues. Personally, for me, okay, it was running a couple of weeks, it's never going to be dialed in properly in a couple of weeks. I had it in a small sump, there was loads of vibrations. So, can I say to you now, on this, it's quiet, it's loud. For me, it was really loud, really loud. You could hear it rooms away. And again, I was picking up vibrations off of the sump walls, but it was not touching the sump walls. And that's the thing, it's not like it was vibrating against the walls and causing vibrations up the tank. You know, there was maybe a quarter of an inch on each side, and it was just vibrating like hell. And so for me, no, it wasn't a quiet skimmer. I cannot prove whether it's a noisy skimmer or whether it was the tight space it was in. But you know, don't quote me on this. I mean, this is a C-shape pump. It's an Italian pump, and I'm not sure if it's the same one they use on the 150, but I think this pushes out on the 130 750 litres of air an hour. So I just, is the pump too powerful for this body? I think it might be. You know what, this skimmer's a funny skimmer. If you go online, and I did, you know, I knew I probably shouldn't have bought it, but I fell in love with it. In my sump, I've got Vertex reactor, you know, I kind of went for the red and white thing. I knew it would be a tight squeeze, so it is not the skimmer's fault, it is all my own fault, but it's a weird skimmer. People either love it or they hate it. I think it's like a 50-50 spread. There's a lot out there about this skimmer, and people either love it or hate it. And I have read on a few forums that people believe that maybe this pump here although they say it's a quality pump, it's just too powerful for the body. So you can dial it in, but you really have to be spot on with it. Everything, you know, all the maths have to add up, the exact water level, the size, I'm assuming. I mean, a lot of people say when they feed their tank or, you know, any maintenance, the skimmer goes mental. Now, I know that happens with a lot of skimmers, but with this one, for a lot of people, it does seem to be problematic. Again, there's probably going to be loads of people maybe watching this saying, you know, what's this guy talking about? The skimmer's amazing. It's just one of those things. So, you know, I don't think I had it running long enough to get the best out of it. It was in a confined space and it didn't work for me. But saying that, there is a lot of things about this skimmer that I do like. There's a few things that I don't like. Build quality, amazing. Look, amazing. You know, the silencer, you know, I would assume it would work in the right environment, but it's a little clumsy. It's quite, again, it's a big old unit. I think it's like 12 by 9 inches, something like that. And on a lot of skimmers, you see this kind of connected to the body or connected to the riser in a more, you know, for me, when I was trying to get in and out my sump, as small as it was just getting in the way. This is the Ozone, so you can run Ozone on this. You've got the little piece that comes off there. But again, you know, it's great, but it's just stuff in the way. I mean, to be fair, you can take this off and put that on there. If I can get it off, just put it on there. And so you know, in theory, you could take that off. There is a way to dial it in more. So depending on what size bubbles you want, you use this piece here. And I believe if it's closed, you get the maximum air going into it, the smallest bubbles. And if you turn it, I think it's a volute, something like that it's called, the bubbles will get bigger. And again, so in combination with the riser and this, you should be able to get the kind of skim mate that you want, dry or wet. But you know, other skimmers do have something similar, but it's in a different place. So this being quite a bit of a pig to dial in, every time you want to do a minor adjustment, your hand's going in your sump. You know, you've got to get your hands wet every time you want to adjust it. Obviously, a lot of people like the fact that the pump is on the outside of the body. I had no issues with it other than, you know, if you had a big enough sump for it, trying to get this off here, it's not going to happen one-handed. What I'm trying to get to is, a lot of people say, well, you know, when it comes to cleaning, it's brilliant. It's not, you ain't got to take the whole body off. Although if you're going to do a clean, you're probably going to clean in here anyway, so you are going to take it apart. So that being inside the body is almost irrelevant. But people say, you know, it's easier to clean the pump. But at the end of the day, I'm probably going to fall over and it'll probably break. I know I'm one-handed, but this, obviously, quite rightly so, is really tight in there. And again, you're fiddling around, you know, there's quite a lot of fiddling around to do just to get it out. Good point is, you've got rubber feet on the bottom of this skimmer and on the pump. I'm not sure, again, look, for me, they didn't work. It was really strange. The noise I was getting, if I'll show you this, you got the two rubber feet, but for me, the pump always wanted to sit in weird places. No matter how I twisted it, it eventually go one way or the other. So it wasn't totally ever level. And although this has got 4 stopper feet, they're not the most sturdiest. You know, I mean, you know, they're not the most sturdiest at all. And strangely, what makes me think the noise wasn't necessarily purely coming from the sump was when it was on, if I would have it at a slight angle, it would quieten right down. And as soon as it went back, you know, it was picking up vibrations again. Yeah, I could have probably put it on a mat or something like that. But again, you know, you're fraffing around. I know you have to with skimmers sometimes. I also think with this skimmer, most people seem to say have it between 8 and 7 inches sump depth. So really, quite honestly, if you are going to buy this skimmer, I would say, got to have an auto top off. Definitely we should have anyway, really, to help you out. But also, if you can put it in a chamber where the height of the water stays the same, I think it'll help you with dialing it in. I really do. So, I know I've said quite a lot of negative points about this skimmer. I Did like it. I struggled with it for a number of reasons. Maybe it's my inexperience with using skimmers, etc., etc. My own fault for buying it when I knew it was going to be tight. It did fit, but I think it caused me issues. It's a good quality skimmer, but I don't think, you know, if you're new to skimmers, maybe get something else. They say buy right the first time, which I do believe in, but some things you just want to get something maybe a bit easier. Get the knowledge, and then you can move on to something that's maybe going to be a bit finicky. You know, the last thing you want to be doing is faffing around dialing in the skimmer day in, day out, you know, even after it is bedded in. Again, as I said, there's a 50-50 spread with this skimmer. A lot of people like it, and a lot of people hate them, to be fair. I think for the money, the build quality, £279, it is built well. There's a few niggles, but there's always going to be. Again, going back to the quality, the weight, you know, in the right environment, I think this skimmer, in the right environment, the right hands, it'd be an amazing skimmer. You know, in my hands, they're the wrong hands, and it was the wrong environment. I've had to order myself a Deltec. I think it's an SC1351. They've just been out a couple of weeks now. They're a DC skimmer, and I'm trying to go for as quiet a sump as possible in my Red Sea Reefer, and so that's what I've had to order. I probably should have ordered the DC skimmer to start off with, but you live and you learn. So if this has caused or saved anyone from maybe having the same issues that I have, great. But I think if you're an experienced reefer, you know, you've kept marine fish for a while, you're clued up about skimmers, and you've got the right environment, ignore what I've said. I think you'll be fine with it. So I hope this has helped some people.